Yo, what's up? Okay, so I need to get my drive shaft shortened. The Rb30 transmission was 2 inches shorter. The Z31, I'm crawling under here. The Z31 trans, I just like the way it feels. So for drive shaft, you have to measure from the output shaft of the transmission. You have to measure from there. And I got the transmission jacked up in place. Measure from there to the flange of your rear end. So from here, not the bolt, right there to right there. And my measurement is 23, let me get out of here, 23 inches. So, let me show you what's going on. Here's my drive shaft. So I've got that, fairly straight. This is just for video purposes. All you gotta do is give the drive shaft person the measurement and he will know what the heck to do. If he doesn't, you're at the wrong drive shaft person. So see, there's 23. Right about, it looks like it needs to be shortened about 1.25 inches. Because you want this, it looks like, see that wear ring? Looks like that seal came up to right there. So, you've got that much play. So the other transmission is 2 inches shorter, which would which would put the seal right about there, which might be okay, but it's only going to cost $40 for him to shorten this because it's steel. $40, $35 to rebalance it, and it come on, you can't beat that. So it looks like about 1.25 inches needs to be shortened. Okay, let me turn the light on. Booyah. Now, this is very, very, very tight. In fact, the valve cover touches there. Had to take the valve covers off to get the motor back far enough. There's one bolt back here, right there. I had to grind that smooth. It bolts something from inside because I couldn't get the valve cover on. I had to remove looks like a cam splash guard type of deal from the very back on this side so that I could get that freaking cover on. And the other side is very, very tight to the AC line. I've got air conditioning. I'm going to have to get different ends put on my hoses, and I'm going to run the freaking R33 AC. That's right. Got to have AC in my ride. So I got the valve covers on, and the story with the transmission. Here's the Rb30 with the Z31 bell housing. I'm just going to leave that like that. I'm giving that to a friend with the adapter plate for the L motor. So I've got the Z31 rear with the Rb30 bell housing, and I had to have my drive shaft shortened about 1.25 inches, something like that. Now the measurement from the output shaft of the transmission to the rear end is exactly 23 inches. So my drive shaft was about 1.25 inches too long, which led me to believe that transmission setup is about 2 inches too short. So it might have worked, but I don't think enough of that input shaft would be in the transmission to be, safe. Because this is, I got the possibility of making some serious horsepower, and I don't want, 1 inch of the shaft that should be in the transmission to be out, whether it's okay or not. Anyway, and also I assume it's cheaper to shorten a drive shaft rather than lengthen it. It was $40. $40 to shorten my drive shaft. And then $35 to balance it again. So anyway, got my motor mounts are tightened down, valve covers on, got to clock my turbo. I'm waiting on the drive shaft. They said it'd be done today, but they're closed now, so that's not going to happen. Transmission mount, I've got to get longer, the mount that I had made, since the transmission is now in a different spot. I just got to work. That's no big deal. Really, the hardest part is getting my exhaust to work. So the downpipe is probably it's going to be longer, because now the turbo is more of a top mount rather than underneath. So I've got the perfect thing. It needs to be lengthened, and it's 4-inch exhaust. Well, I have a 4-inch stainless flex piece, so I'm hoping that I can use that, have my my downpipe start, cut it flush, use that flex pipe to span the gap, and then re-weld it back to the rest of my exhaust. It sounds easy, but that little feat right there can easily take hours. So that's probably the hardest part. And then just, I still have to take the ECU out of the car, take the Haltech out of the 240, and put it in here, which is, there's really nothing to it, just power ground that I've already got run into this Haltech. And then about the only thing is outputs for the fan. I may wire the fan to be constant on, because I just want to drive the thing and then get that figured out, figure out what I need to do, make my tachometer work. All this MSD stuff is coming out. That tach adapter, I might keep it if that's what it's going to take to make the tach work. Radiator, that I don't think is that big of a deal. My bottom line right here is going to reach, and then on the Z it comes out here, so I'll just have to probably do something else with this and get a piece of pipe to go over to the hose that goes into the radiator. Intercooler piping, I mean, look, how difficult is that going to be to go from, it's going to clock it, so it's going to come out underneath to there, throttle body to there, my blow-off valve, put it over here, put this piece of pipe over there, because now I need now my throttle body's on this side. Coolant for the turbo needs to tie in somewhere. It actually, this coolant doesn't need to go through the throttle body. I was just plugging coolant lines so I could undo that, maybe get a T. I'll figure that out. That's least of my worries. Also, injectors. Got the insert for the fuel rail, and I've got the fuel rail. I need to work on the fuel line a little bit to, get the connectors for that, and then mount the fuel rail. I've already got a fuel pressure regulator, fuel return off of the rail, and incoming. I mean, it's all right there. Exhaust is going to be the hardest thing. So I'm still working on it. Okay, throttle cable, kind of done. I really need a longer cable. I still don't have the drive shaft back, but I'm hoping to go pick it up today. But anyway, I got my transmission mount in. That's it. So that's mounted. I really just have to work on the next one. Man, it was raining this morning, but it's dried up. So I'm going to push the car out and do the exhaust. Once I get that exhaust done, everything else is hooked up. Starter, alternator, throttle cable. I've got to get some fittings for my fuel rail, so when I go get the drive shaft, hopefully today, I'll get those fittings. And also I need a T thing so I can tie in with the coolant line of the turbo. That's nothing. So really it's just the exhaust and get my radiator in and finish the plumbing intake. I mean, that's going to be no big deal. I clocked the turbo and it looks like, I mean, for sure the hood will clear. Let me get a better look. I think my lens is a little dirty also, but see what I'm saying? Man, this song reminds me of Guitar Hero. Yeah, Domo Arigato. So anyway, push it out and make that exhaust fit. Oh, let me show you the hole for my downpipe. Which, again, this is tricky. These are all my AC lines. That's just a vacuum. So there we go. Oh, I also, since I had the motor out, I put in my new steering bushing. So once I get that done, from here down the downpipe, it's all going to have to be wrapped. Because, man, it is so close to everything. I'm really wanting to take my air filter off, and it's K&N, wash it, re-oil it. Kind of worked with this a little bit here, so that I'll take that T out, my overcatch can, which I got to remount, will plug into that. That's where we're at. Got to take my coil out.